So this is going to be a weird way to start off, but what you see here is indeed a bunch of vaults in space connected by some sort of cable. Now, I had offloaded everything KiguCorp owns into what I call Ambrosia Bank, and when I mean everything, I really mean everything. Now, this might seem like barbaric overkill when it comes to having a complete storage, and how I got here might be odd, but all this was necessary because, well, I had unfortunately died. And finding out the news of my own death and arriving at this weird area called Black Space, I knew I had to take some drastic measures in order to protect everything KiguCorp owns. But before going into any of that, let's rewind the clock to just days before my own demise, when I thought everything was fine and I wouldn't have to take such drastic measures. Alright, today is the day. Today's the day that we're finally going to start up this quarry. We still got to get an ender pearl in order to start this up though. So we're going to put this back real quick, head over to the nether, and quickly just grab a quick, cheeky ender pearl. We got to make our way over to the Warp Forest, because that's going to be the best shot for us to get ender pearls. Oh yeah, right off the bat, this might be a quick journey. I was expecting to be here for like 30 minutes because for some reason they just were not spawning here. Okay, now that I got everything squared away, let's get the alternator, the quarry, some shafts, gearbox, and I'm gonna outfit my quarry with some nice upgrades. So we're going to combine efficiency with silk touch and then quarry with efficiency 5 silk touch. So let's head down to the quarry zone. There it is. So this is the inventory pipe that we're going to feed the quarry to. And we're going to be on the safe side. We're going to send the elevator back up. We need to make a marker. And with this tool, we'll be able to make as big of an area that we want to quarry. If you have enough power and you have enough storage, you can have a pretty big quarry space. I actually don't know how big the area is, so I'm actually have to go back up. When you're doing a quarry, you have to be absolutely sure that your target area is in fact the target area. Now that it's set, let's get ready to dig. So while the quarry was digging, I decided to upgrade my iron farm using all the knowledge I've accumulated thus far. Because, let's be honest, my designs have been kind of scuffed at this point, and I really wanted to iron it out, and make it into iron blocks at the end so that'd be easy to store. And then when I went down to go check out the quarry, I realized I could put more energy in it. And so I created something I would call a portable generator, which is basically just a plug-and-play windmill that you could put on anywhere in order to increase the stress value. And I'm kind of proud what I did with the base so far. Just thinking on it, I got a lot done, which kind of surprises me. I guess it's really easy streak from here for KiguCorp. Oh, what the? Wait, where am I?
You're in Black Space.
Black Space?
Yes, it seems someone has assassinated you while you were, how you say, AFK.
Wait, why would they?
I do not know, Kigurumi, but it seems whatever progress you made has caused a stir amongst all the other wanderers.
So, wait, then what do I do?
We'll have to move quickly and move all assets to a safe place, but in order to get it done before any more damage sets in, I'll need to take over your body.
Take over my body? I don't think...
Kigurumi, I don't want to do this either. I prefer being the guiding hand, but there's too much at stake. For now, you'll need to trust me.
Okay, I'll trust you, but I need my body back as soon as possible.
I will return your body. Remember, I am on your side, Kigurumi. A lot was done in the time I took control, so allow me to give you a brief summary of events. I began processing all the raw ore into usable items while the quarry was still running, in order to facilitate the materials needed for fast expansion and establishing security to everything belonging to KiguCorp. When the quarry was finished, I collected all the portable generators for future use as it was no longer being used. To further maximize item collection for future quarries, I created an interdimensional collection system that feeds straight into the storage system. And this collection system can be established at any dimension at any time. To ensure there was enough raw materials, 2 more quarries were erected, the first being in the Nether. Reason being is that KiguCorp is still a fledgling organization despite its advances in technology, and thus still needed a vast number of resources, but we couldn't chance the quarry operation being jeopardized if found and confirmed to be owned by KiguCorp. The second quarry was established in a dimension that housed the deeper dark for much the same reason as the nether. The reason that they're in two separate dimensions is to lower the likelihood of finding both quarries and potentially damaging them from operation. I estimate finding both of them to be minuscule, and so I deemed it a safe gamble. However, with the influx of raw materials coming in, storage bottlenecking was quickly becoming a topic I could no longer ignore. And so I emptied out an area and filled the area with vaults, all interlinking with the main storage system. To demonstrate the sheer volume of the amount of materials coming into the now temporary storage system, here's a visual of the amount of materials being pushed through the interdimensional item collector that would then be sent to the storage system. And keep in mind, there are two of these that are running at full capacity. When enough raw materials were collected, I teched up KiguCorp in order to achieve spaceflight, for in the deep space, the chances of permanent damage to KiguCorp would be even further reduced. I modified the root silo to act as a hidden rocket launch station, keeping everything under lock and key as to prevent further intervention from adversaries. And not one to keep my hands clean, I dove into the oceans and collected a sizable amount of oil and refined it into rocket fuel for spaceflight. With everything in motion, I opened up the silo and launched the rocket into deep space. In deep space awaits a space station. The problem is that everyone can access this space station. So the obvious answer for me was to completely dismantle the space station into rubble. I kept the bottommost block of the space station to act as an anchor point to build as low as I can go. Once the bottom was established, the pillar leading up to it was then also decimated. From this new anchor point, a path was made to venture thousands of blocks into deep space, away from prying eyes. With the location set, which I have named Ambrosia Bank, I began setting up inventory cables that would be part of a wider network, reaching as high as it could physically go. With every inventory port, a vault was placed, though unfortunately, the raw materials that KiguCorp had run out, so Ambrosia Bank is currently operating at a maximum of 40% potential capacity. But this was a much larger success than expected, given the limited time frame. I built a new interdimensional item collector at the top that would feed Ambrosia Bank, and constructed a fully powered beacon to allow access to Ambrosia Bank at any dimension at any time. Back on Startup Island, a full migration of all KiguCorp assets began. Using the same technology of the warp plates as before, the storage system was reverse fed onto conveyor belts and sent to Ambrosia for permanent storage. Now, there are much more details of the entire operation to get this station up and running, but unfortunately, it would take too much time, and I would much prefer to teach Kigurumi instead. After all, we share a soul, and right now I am in command of this vessel for the time being. But it seems my time has come to an end, and with it, it's time to return the body to its rightful owner. Welcome back, Kigurumi.
Oh, head rush. Oh, thanks for returning my body, but where exactly are we?
We're at a new location, away from the old compromised base.
So I have to start over?
Not at all. You have the entire collection of KiguCorp on your belt ready for you to utilize.
Alright, it's time to set up KiguCorp, where safety is a concern.